Level 1, the camera. You're 26 years old, living in a small apartment on the outskirts of a mid-sized American city. Your camera sits on a cheap tripod, propped up with a stack of old textbooks. Tonight, only 12 people are watching, but to you, that feels like enough. You talk about your day like you're talking to old friends. You show them your kitchen, your half-eaten dinner, the view from your window. Nobody's watching for a script. They're watching for you, just as you are. A viewer named Danny types, "Good luck tomorrow," and you actually remember he has an interview. You wave goodnight to 12 strangers who somehow don't feel like strangers anymore. The next morning, you wake up and check your phone before your eyes even adjust. 3 new followers. It isn't much, but it's a start. You walk to the coffee shop down the street, camera clipped to your jacket. You narrate the walk like it matters. The cracked sidewalk, the barking dog, the smell of rain. A stranger recognizes your voice from a stream and stops to say hello. It's a small moment, but it stays with you the rest of the day. That night, you go live again. Same time, same energy, nothing forced yet. Someone donates $2 and types, "Thank you for being real." You read it out loud, and your voice cracks a little. This is exactly what you wanted. To be seen and to matter to someone. You end the stream and sit in the quiet apartment, phone glowing in your hands. The numbers are still small. The feeling isn't. Over the next few weeks, you settle into a rhythm you actually enjoy. Morning walks, afternoon errands, evening chats, all shared with whoever tunes in. Your chat starts to recognize each other, joking, checking in, building something together. You don't think about growth charts or algorithms. You just think about tomorrow's stream. One night, a viewer says your stream is the only part of their day they look forward to. You don't know it yet, but that sentence will follow you for years. For now, it just makes you smile before you turn off the camera. You fall asleep to the sound of notifications you don't check anymore. This is the life you wanted. Simple, honest, and yours. Level 2, the routine. Word starts to spread. Slowly, then a little faster. You wake up earlier now, not because you have to, but because you want to. Your subscriber count crosses 100, then 200, then 500. You start planning your days around what might make a good stream. A grocery run becomes a day in my life video. A haircut becomes content. It doesn't feel like work yet. It feels like sharing a life you're proud of. You buy a slightly better microphone with your first month of donations. Your first small sponsor reaches out. A local coffee shop wanting a mention. You say yes immediately, thrilled that a real business believes in you. You film the partnership carefully, wanting it to feel as natural as everything else. Your viewers notice you on the street now, more than just Danny and a few regulars. Someone asks for a photo, and you feel a flush of pride you don't admit out loud. You start a rough schedule, streams at 7, uploads by 9 the next morning. It's not strict yet, just a rhythm that feels good to follow. You spend an extra hour each night editing clips you used to just post raw. Your friends tease you about the camera, but they still show up when you ask them to. One evening, you skip a friend's small get-together to finish an edit. It's just one time, you tell yourself, and it's true this time. Your following keeps climbing, steady and real, built on actual moments. You start recognizing regulars by their usernames before they even type hello. A viewer messages you privately, thanking you for streaming through a hard week for them. You didn't know your stream meant that much to anyone. It makes the extra hour of editing feel worth it. Your days start to blur slightly between what's for you and what's for the stream. You don't notice yet, because right now, it still feels like the same thing. Your bank account grows a little. Not much, but enough to feel like proof. Proof that this thing you built from nothing might actually become something. You end most nights tired but satisfied, already thinking about tomorrow's content. The line between your life and your content is still thin enough not to feel it. Level 3. The schedule. Your calendar isn't yours anymore. It's built around stream times, sponsored deadlines, upload windows. You wake up to an alarm that isn't about you. It's about being online by 7 sharp. Chat expects consistency now, and consistency has quietly become a contract you never signed on paper. You skip breakfast some mornings just to have footage ready before the stream starts. A sponsor emails asking for very specific shots, a certain angle, a certain smile. You reshoot the same 5 seconds 4 times until it looks effortless. It doesn't feel effortless anymore. It feels like a job with no clock out time. You stream for 3 hours, then edit for 2 more before you finally eat dinner. Some nights, dinner is just whatever's fastest, eaten standing at the counter. You start keeping energy drinks by your desk, then in your car, then by your bed. Your body starts sending small warnings: headaches, trouble sleeping, a tightness in your chest. You ignore them because stopping now feels like letting everyone down. A friend invites you to a weekend trip. You decline, citing a sponsor deadline. It's the 3rd invitation you've turned down this month. You tell yourself it's temporary, just until this next milestone, this next deal. The milestones keep moving further away the closer you get to them. Your chat doesn't know any of this. To them, you're still upbeat, still consistent. That consistency is starting to cost you more than they'll ever see. Late one night, you fall asleep mid-edit, waking up to a blinking cursor and a cold coffee. You laugh it off in the morning, turn the camera on, and go live anyway. The numbers are good. The growth is real. Nobody watching would guess how tired you are. You start measuring your worth in view counts before you even get out of bed. A bad stream day feels like a personal failure now, not just an off night. You cancel a doctor's appointment because it overlaps with a scheduled stream. You reschedule it for next month, then reschedule it again. Your reflection in the bathroom mirror looks a little more tired each week. You tell yourself everyone successful goes through a phase like this. You just have to push through it. That's what building something takes. You believe that mostly because believing anything else feels too heavy right now. Level 4. The mask. You've gotten good at flipping a switch the second the camera turns on. Off camera, your shoulders slump. On camera, your voice lifts into something brighter. Your partner starts noticing the gap between the 2 versions of you. You're so much happier when you're streaming than when you're actually with me, they say one night. You don't have a good answer, so you just apologize and change the subject. The next stream, you smile the way you always do, and nobody watching notices anything different. That's the part that scares you a little, how easy it's become to hide it. Your family calls more than usual, checking in, and you keep the calls short. "I'm fine, just busy," becomes your default response to almost every question. You miss your sister's birthday dinner because of a stream you can't move. You send flowers instead, and a message that says you're sorry, you'll make it up to her. She says it's okay. Her voice says something a little different. You keep telling yourself this phase will pass once things stabilize. Your chat keeps growing, and with it, the pressure to never disappoint them. A single bad stream now brings comments asking if something's wrong. You reassure them instantly, performing steadiness you don't actually feel. One night, after the stream ends, you sit in silence for almost 20 minutes. You don't check your phone. You don't move. You just sit there. Your partner finds you like that and gently asks what's really going on. For the first time in weeks, you almost tell the truth. Instead, you say you're just tired, and the conversation ends there. You go to bed replaying the moment, wishing you'd said more. The next morning, the alarm goes off and the mask goes back on. You stream a cheerful morning routine video. Your smile? Automatic by now. A comment says, "You always seem so happy. I wish I had your life." You stare at that comment longer than you mean to. You don't reply. You're not sure what you'd even say. That night, you and your partner barely speak over dinner. You both know something needs to change. Neither of you says it out loud yet. Level 5. The breaking point. It happens on an ordinary Tuesday, in the middle of an ordinary stream. Your hands start shaking. Your chest feels tight. The room seems to tilt slightly. You mute yourself, tell chat you need a short break, and step away from the desk. In the bathroom, you sit on the floor and try to catch your breath. It's the first time in months you've let yourself stop moving completely. You don't go back on camera that night. You just turn everything off. Your partner finds you there and doesn't ask what happened. They just sit down next to you. Neither of you says anything for a long time. The next morning, you call a doctor instead of opening your streaming software. The waiting room feels strange, quiet in a way your life hasn't been in months. The doctor talks about stress, about sleep, about a body that's been running on empty. Nothing said in that room is unfamiliar. You just haven't let yourself hear it until now. You leave with a short list of changes and a longer list of questions about your life. That night, you sit with your equipment and just look at it for a while. For the first time, streaming feels like something you're allowed to question. You call your sister, actually call her, and tell her you're sorry for missing her birthday. She doesn't need the apology as much as she needs to hear you're okay. You talk for almost an hour, longer than any conversation you've had in weeks. Your partner asks gently what you actually want your life to look like. You realize you haven't asked yourself that question in a very long time. You go live the next day, but you tell your chat the truth for once. I've been running myself into the ground, and I need to change how I do this. You brace for backlash. Instead, hundreds of comments say some version of, "We're glad you're okay." Someone writes, "We'd rather have less of you and keep you healthy." You read that message twice, and something in your chest loosens for the first time in months. You end the stream early, and for once, nobody complains. That night, you sleep for 9 hours straight, the longest in recent memory. You wake up without an alarm dictating the exact minute your day has to start. Something in you has quietly decided to do this differently from now on. Level 6. The boundary. You hire your first real editor, someone to take the late nights off your plate. It feels strange at first, handing over a part of the process you used to control. Within a week, you have your evenings back for the first time in a year. You set fixed hours, streaming windows that end on time, no matter what chat wants. Some viewers grumble at first. Most understand once you explain why. You turn off notifications after 9 at night, a small rule that changes everything. Your partner notices before you even say anything. The shift in how present you are. You start taking one full day a week completely offline, camera off, phone away. It feels uncomfortable at first, like you're missing something important. By the third week, it feels like the most important part of your schedule. Your numbers don't crash the way you feared they might. If anything, your content feels sharper, more honest, because you're not running on fumes anymore. A newer streamer reaches out, overwhelmed, and asking how you keep up with everything. You tell them the truth, that you almost didn't, and that boundaries saved you. You mentor them a little, sharing what you wish someone had told you a year ago. Your sponsors adjust too, respecting the new pace instead of pushing against it. The ones who don't, you start turning down, something you'd never have done before. Your family visits more often now, and you're actually present when they do. Your sister jokes that she finally gets the real you instead of the stream you. You laugh because for the first time in a long time, there isn't much of a gap between them. Your community grows slower now, but it feels steadier, built on trust instead of urgency. You start enjoying streaming again in a way you'd almost forgotten was possible. A comment says you seem lighter lately, more like yourself. You realize that's exactly what's happened. You still work hard, still show up, still care about growing. But it's a choice now, not a survival instinct. That difference changes almost everything about how the work feels. You end each week actually looking forward to the next one. For the first time in years, your schedule feels like it belongs to you. Level 7. The Harvest. It's the anniversary of your very first stream, the one only 12 people watched. You decide to celebrate it live, looking back at where all of this started. You pull up an old clip, grainy footage from that first cramped apartment. Chat floods with messages from people who've been watching since those early days. Danny, the same viewer from your very first stream, is still there, still watching. You read his message out loud, just like you did years ago. Your voice cracks again, the same way it did back then, but for different reasons now. Your partner sits just off camera, close enough that you can feel them there. Your sister video calls in partway through, waving at the thousands of people watching. It's chaotic and warm, and nothing like the polished streams sponsors usually ask for. It's also the most genuinely happy you've felt on camera in a long time. Later that week, you take an actual vacation, camera left behind on purpose. You spend the days doing nothing worth streaming, and it feels like everything. When you come back, your community is still there, still steady, still yours. You look at your setup, upgraded now from that stack of old textbooks. You remember being grateful for 12 viewers, and somehow you still feel that same gratitude now. The scale is different. The feeling underneath it hasn't changed at all. You mentor a few newer streamers now, passing along what almost broke you once. You tell them growth matters, but not more than staying whole while you chase it. Some evenings, you stream just to talk. No plan, no sponsor, no pressure. Those are often the streams your community says they love the most. You've built something real, slow and steady, on your own terms. Your family knows the real you now, on camera and off, with barely any gap between them. You think back to that first night, 12 strangers who somehow didn't feel like strangers. You didn't know then how far this would go, or what it would cost you. You also didn't know you'd find your way back to yourself in the middle of it. Tonight, You end your stream the way you used to, unhurried, honest, present. You close your laptop and sit for a moment in the quiet you finally chose. This is the life you built. Not perfect, but genuinely, fully yours. You step outside onto your balcony, coffee in hand, watching the city settle into evening. Somewhere in that same city, in a small apartment much like the one you started in, a light turns on. A young woman sets up a cheap camera on a stack of borrowed textbooks. She checks her viewer count. 8 people. She smiles anyway. You'll never know her name, but you understand exactly how she feels right now. And somewhere else, a new story quietly begins.